Yo, what up, everybody? You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by, taking a couple minutes out of their day to rock and roll with us as we talk about the latest trade rumors that not only surround the New York Knicks, but also the NBA. Look, we're just a couple of months away. I mean, it's January, December. We're less than 2 months away from the 2024 NBA trade deadline, and I believe the Knicks are going to make a move. So I'm going to talk about 5 players that I think the Knicks can trade for prior to the deadline. Because look, the Knicks are going to have an expiring $18 million salary of Evan Fournier to get rid of. The Knicks cannot afford for Evan Fournier's $18 million to not be used in a deal. So even if you don't trade for a superstar, you should at minimum move Fournier so you can get somebody back to help the team right now. Just too much money and too valuable of an asset to let go to waste and not be used for nothing. So we're going to talk about 5 guys that I think the Knicks could look for. And let's talk about the player that is being mentioned in trade rumors the most right now. And it's kind of a new name to the NBA trade report. That is Lauri Markkanen, the do-it-all forward for the Utah Jazz. I'm a big fan of Markkanen's game. I thought he really took a step when he got traded from the Cavs to the Jazz, started to really come into the player that he is. Only thing that I worry about is a little bit of the fit with the Knicks. But when you're able to shoot the pill the way he is, the way he's able to knock it down from 3, I think that they could find a way to make it work. Why are we talking about Markkanen? Well, Yahoo's Jake Fisher said the Jazz are leaving teams with the impression that Markkanen can be acquired. He also said that the price is going to be extremely high, and that's what we've come to expect when trading for players that play for the Utah Jazz. FDA, always FDA here on this channel. I like Markkanen a whole lot. Can he play on this Knicks roster? I like what he does. I think he can score from all 3 levels. I think he's one of the most underrated players in this league. Not many guys average 23 points, 9 rebounds, 49% from the floor, and 39% from 3. Markkanen's a bucket. He really, really is. But can he play the 3? Because if you're trading for him, he's going to have to play that small forward position. I don't love him as a wing defender. I think your defense would be pretty bad, as it already is if you're the New York Knicks right now. If you tried out a lineup with Randall, Markkanen, and Jalen Brunson, but the offensive firepower would be special. And the reason I do think he could play the 3 next to Randall is because of what he does on offense. We know he could shoot. We showed you the percentages. You've seen him play. You know he could do that. I just worry about the defensive side of things, but that's why you have a coach like Tom Thibodeau. He should be able to put guys in spots to be a productive team defense, and I still trust him in a playoff series to draw up a defensive game plan that's good enough to help you lock down teams. Do you think the Knicks should go out and trade for Lauri Markkanen? We have 4 more players to get to, but he's an interesting one, and he seems like he may be on the move. Type T for trade, type P for pass. Let's go from star player to more of a role player, and that's Saddiq Bey, the forward for the Atlanta Hawks. You guys know what I say. You can never have too many Villanova Wildcats on a team, and that's what he is. The Nova Knicks. I love Saddiq Bey as a player. I think he plays the game the right way. I think he is an underrated player in the sense that he can get it done on the offensive end. This year, he's averaging 13 points per game, shooting 47% from the field, 35% from 3. He's a career 36% shooter from downtown. He's a volume 3-point shooter as well. He gets a lot of attempts up. And I think he kind of just brings what the Knicks lack a little. He's a true wing, like a true wing. 3 and D may be a little bit of a stretch. I think he's more of a 3 than a D. He can play defense. He's not a lockdown defender by any means, but he definitely helps you on the offensive end. And we've seen at times the Knicks can go cold from downtown, gives you more length, and he's an athlete as well. I think he makes the Knicks a more athletic team. He fits a lot of spots, and he makes the Knicks better in a lot of areas that they somewhat struggle in right now. I would not mind at all if the New York Knicks go out and add a guy like Saddiq Bey. If you're looking for a guy that's a veteran, probably going to be moved, and can still get it done with the best of them on the offensive end, what about Bojan Bogdanovich, as I like to call him, the professional scorer? Anytime I watch the Pistons play, or anytime I've watched Bogdanovich play over the last 3 years, I'm like, the dude's just a bucket. He just gets it done. Over the last 3 seasons, he's played 136 games, and he's averaging 20 points per game on 47% from downtown, 47% from the field, and 39.9% from downtown. He can catch and shoot. He can one dribble pull up. He can attack off the catch. He is a guy that can score wherever from the floor. He's a threat any time to get a bucket no matter where he's at. Somewhat of a drawback. He's 35, or he will be 35 in April. And you always got to ask yourself, how much are you willing to give up for a 35-year-old player? If it's Fournier and a handful of second-round picks, I would absolutely do it. And I honestly think that Bogdanovich would make this team a lot better, because putting a sniper like him, and a guy that's more than just a sniper, more than just a catch-and-shoot player, he can score it off the bounce. Next to Brunson and Randall, I think it would take this offense to a different level. I like Bogdanovich. I'm only giving up Fournier and second-round picks for him. And if that gets it done, I'm pulling the trigger, and I think that would definitely help this team going into the NBA playoffs. We're going to get two more. I got two more trade targets. The next one, I think is pretty interesting, and he might be my favorite of the five. But first, I got to give a huge shout-out to today's sponsor, Factor. Go to factormeals.com/NicksChat50. That's factormeals.com/NicksChat50. And if you use the promo code NicksChat50, Factor is going to hook you up with 50% off. This holiday season, we're all going to be busy. We probably won't have time to go to the grocery store or prep our groceries or cook our groceries. And we definitely don't want to clean our dishes after that. Get hooked up with Factor, ready-to-eat meals, fresh, never frozen. Fresh, never frozen, dietitian approved, chef prepared meals. I'm a huge fan. I love the smoothies. The food tastes good, keeps me on my daily healthy habits. I love Factor. Look, I live a busy lifestyle. I don't always have time to go to the grocery store. And Factor, they hooked me up with a whole bunch of meals. I've already gone back and ordered another box. You should do it. It's factormeals.com/NicksChat50. Promo code NicksChat50. Save yourself 50% off. Food's awesome, tastes good, and it's going to help you stay on track with all your healthy lifestyle habits. Get hooked up with them. Factormeals.com/NicksChat50. Promo code NicksChat50. All right, this is a player that I actually do want to see the Knicks trade for. And I kind of came to this decision today. I was talking with Patrick Seatman a little bit, and we're like, what do the Knicks need? They need an upgrade at that small forward position. I don't think they can get it done with RJ Barrett. I'm kind of all in on trading for Jerami Grant. I really, really am. I understand that you might say Marshall, he makes way too much money. 5 years, $160 million is the contract he signed. And because he signed that contract, he cannot be traded until January 15th, which means the Knicks would have to wait a little bit, but they could still get the deal done before the deadline. Look at what Jerami Grant is doing in the NBA over his last 4 seasons. The guy's averaging 21 points per game on 45% from the field and 37.5% from downtown. What he's been able to do and become as a three-point shooter has really made him one of the most underrated players in this league. And he's not just like a Josh Hart where he shoots 2 threes a game. The guy's shooting 5.8 threes per game and knocking it down at a 37.5% clip. How do you get a guy like Jerami Grant, though? You got to give up RJ Barrett. And I would do it. I would trade Jerami Grant for RJ Barrett straight up. I would have already called up the Portland Trail Blazers and see if they would do a deal like this. Grant's 29 years old. He'll be 30 coming up this offseason. I don't love that the contract is 5 years long, but one, I don't think the salary's an outrageous price. I think he's probably paid pretty fairly, maybe slightly overpaid, if at all. And I think it's another movable contract if you need to get off of it. But I think Jerami Grant is a better basketball player than RJ Barrett. I think he fits the Knicks better. He can shoot threes, shoots 40% on catch-and-shoot opportunities this year. He's a better slasher, and I think he's a better defender than RJ Barrett as well, just a better athlete. Knicks need more athletes. Jerami Grant is that kind of guy. Would you make this trade? I know there's a lot of RJ Barrett fans out there, and I understand why. He's ours. We picked him. He's been with the Knicks for 5 years. I just think the time is over. I think he's run his course. I don't think he'll ever reach his potential as a player here. When I watch him play basketball, he doesn't even seem happy anymore playing for the Knicks. Would you do this deal? Type A for accept, type D for decline. Another name that I think that everyone should keep their eyes on is Andrew Wiggins. We told you guys in the summer of 2022 that we were told that the New York Knicks wanted to trade for Andrew Wiggins prior to the contract extension. Well, the Knicks may now have their chance to go and make a move for Wig. The Warriors took Andrew Wiggins out of the starting lineup. The Warriors are struggling. They're looking for any answer possible. They've moved Wiggins to the bench. And look, I'm not saying that he's undeserving of that demotion because he has not played good basketball this year. The dude's shooting just 43% from the field and 30% from downtown, which when you compare that to prior seasons, that is a drastic fall off for Wiggins. He's usually about a 47% shooter from the field and about 38% from downtown. And I love his defensive versatility as well. It will be an instant upgrade in the starting lineup, in my opinion. I worry a little bit about the spacing, but I trust Wiggins to get his shot to fall. Not sure if he's ever going to consistently get back to being a 39% shooter from three, but just be league average. Just be league average, be that slasher, be that defender that you are, and I think a player like him could really help the Knicks at that small forward position. We talked about 5 players on today's video. I want to hear from you now. Who do you want the Knicks to trade for? I think they're going to make a trade. I think they have to make a trade. I think they know they have to make a trade if they really want to compete against the top teams in the East. Give me a name of a player you want to see rocking orange and blue before the season is over. Just want to say thank you and appreciate you for tuning in. If you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up icon, and we'll see you later. Let's go Knicks.